We got here through mistakes that were made in the nature and character of our educational system that goes back nearly 40 years. We got here because our curriculum at some point did not draw the line between skills-based learning, and knowledge-based learning. Because as society developed in other parts of the world over time, the nexus between knowledge and skills became very clear to educational developers. And so they had to draw a line to say, okay, how much knowledge do we require and what are the skill sets that will be part of that knowledge to do a particular, perform a particular task or activity. Now, there are two sides to it. What is the job specification? If you are looking for an engineer, a pupil engineer in the ministry, what does the law say the engineer must possess? Academic qualification in terms of skills qualification. And at the level of the academic qualification, what does the curriculum say? What is he required to possess? How is he tested? How is he trained? How is he taught? What type of laboratory work that he does? So all of those things are part of producing the person who is going to hold that certificate at the end of the day. So when you now flip that requirement in terms of the curriculum, the nature and character of the curriculum, and the way he's trained, and the person that trained him, you'll now begin to understand why some people come out of educational establishments are not properly trained, not properly taught, and don't possess the skills that is required for the job. Now, when it comes to the interview, how is he tested for this job that is required? And the testing mechanism doesn't actually test his skills. It might test his knowledge. Okay, go and you have 10,000 people applying, go and do what they call it, aptitude test. And the aptitude test, the questions they ask are largely similar. So you go and cram and get a good result in the aptitude test, and then the process of post-aptitude test now becomes politicized. So you have people who end up in the system that don't possess the requisite skills and knowledge to do the task that is set out for them. And in some cases, the specification of the tasks, do not emphasize that are required for you to do a particular job. And so it is the certificate that they look at. And over time, like I said, this thing dates back over 40 years ago. And over time, it got worse and worse and worse till we'll have a situation where you have a lot of people brandishing. Because if you remember, in those days, if you were going to the Polytechnic and College of Education, it was more of activity and action-based learning, skills-based learning, because you were targeting a particular type of job. If you are going to the university, it was also cleared out on what is required. But our curriculum did not change for a very long time to blend the two scenarios like I've mentioned. And so we ended up focusing on the certificate aspect and not the skills aspect. And once the entire educational system was structured in that manner, and the people who were hiring were now structured in that manner, it became clear that certificates were more important than the skills. And that is why many professional bodies now started introducing professional certification schemes. Once you finish from the University of Polytechnic and you want to practice, they go and train you in a particular way. If you want to go and work in the bank, you go to the bank, set up their own training institutes. These are all attempts to bring out the skills aspect of the job that you are supposed to do rather than the knowledge aspect of the job that you're supposed to do. So you have a BA in Yoruba, fine, but if you want to work in a bank, these are the skill sets that you require, and once you pass those rigorous testing mechanisms, you get a license to now practice as a banker. If you want to be an engineer, you go through the professional certification. You want to be a lawyer, you go through the professional certification and things like that. Whereas in other parts of the world, these professional aspects of the certification and skills-based learning are already embedded in the curriculum. So it wasn't until about 7 years ago that we now, at the level of the universities, the polytechnics have also done their own, and I think the College of Education have done their own, are in the process of doing their own, to like say, look, let us revisit our curriculum and bring out those elements that are now consistent with 21st century education that emphasizes skills, character, competence, as well as knowledge in a holistic setup to drive the same process. So we're in a transition. It's going to take a while to build that complete structure and repair the damage that we have done to our system in the past 40 years, like I've mentioned. Thank you.